My sister's laughter still echoes in my ears, sharp and triumphant, like the chime of a bell that never stops ringing. I was 10 when I first realized I'd always be second best, watching my parents drape her in praise while I stood in the shadows, clutching my small victories like stolen crumbs. Growing up, I was the afterthought Lila, the quiet one, the one who didn't shine quite as brightly as Clara, their golden child. Clara, with her perfect smile and effortless charm, was the daughter they chose for everything. The lead in the school play, the family vacations, the heirloom necklace that should have been mine. I loved her, but love doesn't erase the ache of being invisible. By the time we were adults, I'd learned to live with either, so I thought. Then came her wedding, the grand stage for Clara's ultimate triumph, and the moment I decided to rewrite the script. Our childhood home was a museum of Clara's achievements. Framed photos of her winning debate trophies, her prom queen crown, her college graduation speech lined the walls. My own My Denisa science fair ribbon. A short story published in a local magazine were tucked away in a drawer, forgotten. My parents didn't mean to hurt me. They just saw Clara as the star, and I was the supporting act. "Lila, you're so responsible," they'd say, as if responsibility was a consolation prize. Clara, meanwhile, was destined for greatness. When she announced her engagement to Ethan, a charming lawyer with a trust fund, my parents wept with joy. They threw themselves into planning her dream wedding, a lavish affair at the Rosewood Manor, a venue Clara had obsessed over since we were kids. It was perfect: white columns, sprawling gardens, a ballroom that glowed like a fairy tale. I was tasked with addressing invitations, a silent worker bee in her hive. I didn't resent Clara's happiness, not at first. I wanted her to have her day. But the months leading up to the wedding became a parade of slights. My parents dismissed my suggestions for the ceremony, ignored my offer to help with the budget, and even forgot to invite me to the dress fitting. Clara, caught up in her own world, didn't notice. Or maybe she did, and it just didn't matter. The final straw came when my mother, beaming, handed Clara our grandmother's pearl necklace, the one she'd promised me years ago. "It's only right," she said, as Clara clasped it around her neck. "It suits her." I stood there, smiling through the sting, but something inside me snapped. That night I made a decision. If I was invisible, I'd use it to my advantage. I'd always been good with money. While Clara spent her trust fund on designer bags and European getaways, I'd built a quiet fortune through careful investments. By 28, I owned a small real estate portfolio, a secret I kept even from my family. Rosewood Manor, Clara's dream venue, was struggling financially. Rumors of foreclosure had been circling for months. So I acted. Through a shell company, I bought the property outright, cash, no questions asked. The deed was mine before Clara's save-the-dates hit the mail. I didn't plan what came next. It was as if the universe handed me the pen and dared me to write. The weeks that followed were a blur of calculated chaos. I played the dutiful sister, helping with floral arrangements and guest lists, all while quietly unraveling Clara's perfect day. I met with the venue's staff, posing as a concerned owner's representative, and planted seeds of doubt about the wedding's feasibility: permits, scheduling conflicts, minor renovations that couldn't be delayed. By the time I canceled the booking outright, citing unforeseen circumstances, Clara was frantic. My parents were livid, demanding answers I didn't give. I offered to help find a new venue, my voice steady, my heart pounding with a mix of guilt and exhilaration. Clara sobbed on the phone, her dreams slipping away, and I felt a twisted satisfaction. For once I held the power. But power is a heavy thing. The night after I pulled the plug, I stood in my apartment, staring at the deed to Rosewood Manor. It was a hollow victory. I'd wanted Clara to feel what I'd felt all those years: overlooked, insignificant, but her tears didn't erase my pain. They only deepened it. I thought of the times we'd been close, like when we'd sneak into the backyard as kids, whispering secrets under the stars. Clara wasn't cruel. She was just human. caught in the same warped family dynamic that had cast me aside. I'd punished her for my parents' choices, and it didn't feel like justice. It felt like betrayal. I could have stopped there, let the wedding collapse and walked away. But something in me refused to stay the villain. I spent sleepless nights rethinking my plan. Rosewood Manor was mine now, why not use it? Not to destroy but to rebuild. I called Clara the next morning, my voice trembling. "I have a surprise," I said. She was wary, but she agreed to meet me at the venue. When she arrived, the gardens were lit with fairy lights, the ballroom set for a small, intimate gathering. I'd spent every cent of my savings to restore the place, not for her wedding, but for something better, a celebration of use, of family, of starting over. "Lila, what is this?" Clara asked, her eyes wide as she took in the scene. I handed her the deed. "It's yours," I said. "Not just for one day but forever. I bought it for you." Her mouth fell open, and for the first time in years she looked at Mirelle. I looked at me. I told her everything. The years of feeling invisible, the necklace, the anger that led me to sabotage her wedding. I expected her to scream, to walk away. Instead, she cried and pulled me into a hug. "I didn't know," she whispered. "I didn't see you." We sat in the empty ballroom, talking until dawn. Clara admitted she'd felt pressure to be perfect, to live up to our parents' expectations. I confessed how their favoritism had carved a hole in me. For the first time, we saw each other as sisters, not rivals. The wedding was rescheduled, smaller this time at a different venue. Clara insisted I wear the pearl necklace, and my parents, shaken by my confession, apologized in their clumsy way. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. Owning Rosewood Manor became our shared project. Clara and I turned it into a community space, a place for families to gather, for people to feel seen. We hosted free events for kids, charity galas, even small weddings for couples who couldn't afford a venue. Every time I walked through those gardens, I felt a weight lift. I'd spent years believing I had to take something away from Clara to matter, but giving us something taught me I was enough. The day we opened the manor to the public, Clara grabbed my hand and squeezed it. "You're my hero, Lila," she said. I laughed, but the words settled deep. I didn't need to dim her light to shine. I just needed to step into my own.